All right, welcome back to another adventure. So what we're working on is my buddy Steve, known him forever. He has a wheelchair that he has to get out, a little mobile chair, and trying to get it out of his car has been just destroying him. Destroying the car, destroying everything. So we're going to try to make this right. I'm going to kind of show you guys a little bit of how he struggles and what we can make. We're going to try to make something. It's probably not going to work out, but we're going to try. So Steve's going to go ahead and take out his wheelchair the way he normally does.
Okay, this is a Pride folding lightweight power chair. It weighs about 45 pounds. I bring it to the end of the bumper, grab the handle, and try and bring it down without knocking myself down to the ground. When I put the chair into the car, it's more difficult. So that's where we need help.
And this is 45 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, even for me, that's a lot. That's a lot of weight.
Yep.
So what you're,
And it's a lightweight carbon fiber chair.
it has dual motors, a battery. It has a whole bunch that makes it mobile.
A great chair gets me up and mobile. Just difficult to put in the back of a small SUV.
So, and this is basically a new car to you. And now, before you tear up the bumper, we need to build something. Okay. So it has a full floor deck and everything like that. We're going to take all that out and we're going to kind of just build our own. We're going to act like it's a Jeep. We're going to just kind of Jeep it. So I'm going to pull this out. I'll show you guys ripping out the interior and kind of what we have to work with. And hopefully we can make something that works out great. We have a couple ideas.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, I don't think you could do that without hurting the rubber seal and I mean everything that's here. You know, you don't want to tear that up.
Yep, we already beat up the other car.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get this done. Okay, so this has basically a sliding tray. And it has a couple of different points it can mount to, but this is how you get to the spare tire. So that's why they made this slide out.
And then we'll haul the factory foam out.
Okay. Has like a factory foam kind of tray, holds the jack. So let me bring you guys on in here. So this is what we have to work with. So now we have two mounts here. There's two bolts going into the floor there. And then we also have 1, 2, 3 bolts for the rear seat. So we know those are going to be real strong. And the bolts here. What Steve was saying earlier is if we put the post here to come up, the weight transfer is going to try to take this end here and try to lift up as he's lifting up the chair. So basically all of the support needs to be back there. We just need a couple tabs up here to kind of hold it from shifting and moving while he's rotating the chair in. And the idea is to use a Harbor Freight winch and some bearings. Wait till you see the bearings we got. So we're going to start measuring and get started. Okay, so we got like 32 and a half. By like 37 and a half, maybe. Yeah, someplace around there. Actually, I think we wanted to go in between these here, which is 35 and a half.
Shove it this way, I can hold the end. Working.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, that's heavy.
Yep. You're taking all my you're taking all my spiders out. Okay, so we need another one the same size as this.
Is that a silver pencil for marking on steel?
That's you got me those. Those are welding pencils, you said.
Why not?
The weld doesn't get rid of them, so when you're welding, you could actually see them even better. It's silver. They work out great. Okay, let's tilt. Just so I don't, while I'm cutting, I don't hit you with sparks.
Oh, yeah.
Turn around.
Want me out?
Just turn around. Go forward. Go forward. There you go. That's hot or warm.
Yeah.
Put a brand new blade on it, then I can cut all the way through. This piece is done for now. I don't know if we're going to use... I would like to kind of use round
Right.
for going up.
But we'll use what we have. Recycling material is always good.
Well, and not having to go get material. Spending the time.
Make it work, make it happen.
Yeah, I know I have bigger square tubing. Trailer hitch would be overkill.
Yeah, just a little. 50-pound chair, we're putting a 2,000-pound winch on it.
The diameter of the bearing is what we got to worry about. But I could always make a flat plate that mounts to this. I think round would just look cleaner going up. We could always do square coming off the top. But I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, we always make it work.
kind of like the saw blade.
It works.
So when you try to cut with a circular cutoff wheel, you end up recutting it with a bandsaw. We're a couple degrees off on our 45, so we're just going to shorten it up a little bit on the bandsaw, which we did have extra room, so we're going to do that. And then when this is done, I'll get back to welding. All right, we got it all set up. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple tack welds, make sure it all fits, and then go from there. Oh, my tack welds didn't hold. We're hitting the tire. Notch this.
I would say, yeah.
Or raise this up.
Yeah, imagine.
Notch it? Okay. Fixed.
That's good.
The nut on the holding that on was way too tight. So as soon as I let it go, it started spinning on its own.
But if it's too light, you get slop and you end up with
A rat's nest in here. Yeah. So. I think what's happening is I'm getting to the end of the roll, so it's getting smaller. That's why I never like to use the little small ones, because they're so wound up that it doesn't feed through the machine properly. The big giant welders use rolls that are like this big around, and the center's like that open. And that's so it doesn't try to curve as it's going through the cable. Okay, so we tack welded this. We cut out a little notch in the back for the spare tire. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. Now we have two 90-degree brackets. He has like, I think they're like shock tower supports that come into his trunk area. So we're gonna do one of these riv nuts and make it to where we could put a 1/4-20 bolt into it. So we have these tabs that we made out of angle iron. And now we're just going to tack them on, see if they fit in right, see if they go into the car with them on. And that's one of the things you have to think about, is how to get it in and out of the car if you start going as far out as you can go. So I'm going to tack these on, and then we're going to do some tabs for the front edge, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got those tacked on. We had to drill holes, and they had to be slightly at a angle, so I ground down the bottom of it. So now we could fit this into the car and see if it lines up. And I think what I'll do is I'll mount these first, because that'll hold it tight up against the front. Then we could do the back bolts and then do those separately. So let's do that. So I have a feeling if we welded all of it, then when we tighten it up, if it slid it up just a hair, then we wouldn't line up anymore. Okay, that fits down in there. Those tabs seem to fit tight. Okay. All right, I'll drill the small hole and then we'll enlarge it for the nutsert. Okay, when you're drilling out nutserts, you want to find the size that the nutsert is. So it won't fit in that hole, but it fits in this hole. And then you go one size drill bit down, which is that one. That way you have to hammer the nutsert in because you want these splines to hold it, to stop it from spinning while you're tightening it. So they're supposed to be like really pressure fit in. Let's hope I didn't make it too big. All right, let me find the tools to do this. All right, that's one nutsert in. So you basically hold this nut, and then this tightens up and crushes the nutsert. Normally I use a socket, not an Allen key, and now I'm starting to understand why I don't use Allen. But that sucked up nice and tight, so we got two installed. So now we can put this part back in and then put some bolts in here and see how it all worked out. I welded that on, I went to drill a hole and it broke right off. I didn't have the welder angled enough to bite into this. Okay, that's installed. Now we're going to work on the bearing mount. We got to figure out how to mount the bearing, and I'll show you guys the bearing idea in a couple seconds.
Hey, check this out. We got the old Jeep bearing, front bearing. We can use this as a swivel.
Well, that'll work.
Got 60,000 miles on it? More than enough.
Let's try it.
Ah, great, we got our swivel. Now we just connect the upright and we swivel. That'll roll it in and roll it out.
And last forever.
Yep, for another 60,000. There you go, we're set. Think you're just putting another 20,000 on it.
Oops, I did it again. We were filming and the camera died, and we just went ahead and built this. So this is a wheel bearing. Started its life like this on a Jeep, and we knocked out the studs. This had a big lip on it that you saw me cutting off. We cut this off so it'll sit flat on the frame that we built inside the car. And then what we did is cut a tube out. We had a tube, and we cut that fits over this nice and tight. We cut that just so it just barely goes over the top of this. So that way I could weld it to here, because this inside area does not spin, only the outside area. So we cut this out about an inch tall, welded a big, thick, flat steel plate on top of this. And then we welded, this is trailer hitch material. We got this cut off of a trailer hitch that we had. So now this new tube will fit down inside here, I think, I hope. Yeah. And then, because this has so much movement, I decided to drill holes and put some bolts so he'll be able to set screw this in. Now I did bolts top and bottom on two sides, so that way it'll take out any of the chance of falling. I mean, it's not going to fall out no matter what, because like Steve was saying, any weight on top of it's just going to push it down in there deeper. I just didn't want all the movement. Didn't want it to feel like it was gonna fall apart. Now, I did do a rookie mistake on this. Whenever you're dealing with hinges, bearings, rotating surfaces, and you're welding, you have to remember that there's a bearing in here, and that bearing is a whole bunch of little tiny rolling. In this case, it's most likely a whole bunch of rods. That is your bearing surface, roller bearings. And when I welded it, I put this flat on the surface and welded up here, which means I welded through the bearings. I used the bearings as part of the ground post. So what that did was arced on the bearings. So now this moves nice and easy. This, I have to put it in the vise to get it to turn. So I think once I weld it and put this on it to where you have leverage, it's going to turn. I'm not too worried about that. But that's something you got to think about. Door hinges is another one that's known for that. People will ground on the chassis or the body and then weld on the door. And what that'll do is go through the hinge, so it makes a weird feel on the hinge. Sometimes you could fuse it completely shut. Just something to think about. Don't do what I do. Next up is, this is a brace. We're going to build the upright piece. And we already measured this. This is the height it needs to be. So we cut it at a 45. If it is too tall by a little bit, we could always trim it off the bottom. We don't have to worry about this corner. So I'm going to go ahead and weld up this corner and build this all in. Then we have to build the winch mount to hold the winch. And then we have to figure out a way to get the cable wherever we're going to run the cable. It's synthetic rope, so it should be easy to deal with. So I'm going to go ahead and get welding and try to get this up before the guys get here. Steve's sitting in traffic, and I don't know where Gabe is, but he'll be here. So I'm going to go ahead and do some welding. And the stories of the worst YouTuber, that's me. So last I showed you, we were welding on the nuts on this. Got that all done. We did do some fitment in the car since Steve got here. And Gabe and I are learning how to weld. I mean, really, I am learning. He's actually better than I am. So what we're doing is welding the bearing to what we built yesterday. So we welded on a little bit of a bar stock here, so we have more mounting surface for the bearing. And that's basically the part that the wheel goes onto. So now what we're going to do is let it cool down a little bit. We're going to test fit it. But we did build the upright bar, kind of. We're in the process of building that. And we needed to make that fit into his car. And the drawback is where I want this part to be is close to the window. The other part is we can only go up so high in order to be able to pull this bar out and have it where we need it to be. So we're doing a little bit of customizing to the top tube. So what we did is we notched this a little bit. So that's all I did was do a blade cut and then just kind of open it up. So now you can see that this bar slightly slopes upward. And that'll give us our height that we need here. So what we're worried about is once we lift up the chair has to be as high as possible in order to get over his bumper. So we need this bar as high as possible without touching the headliner or the back glass when you shut it down. So this is our problem now. So what we're going to do is we're going to test fit this one more time. Now that we have this all welded in, we should be able to put this in and then be able to rotate it. Like I said, I welded the bearings, so don't be a Rick. So we'll be able to rotate this and make sure it clears. We'll probably tighten all this up and, you know, make sure everything's good.
It's better to go slowly when
Yeah.
going through metal.
Yep.
Yeah. Remember you told me that
Well,
one. You're looking for my deep frame.
I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you the speed in a couple seconds after you get done with that. Okay, so this is your speed. This is perfect speed for drilling metal.
Okay.
So it's not that fast.
No, it really is.
It's not near as fast as what people think.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks the higher the speed, the faster it's going to cut, and in reality, that's all you're doing is heating up the metal, which work hardens it. So now it's harder to drill.
Right.
And you're destroying the bit because you're heating it up and you're taking away the bit.
Okay. I see.
Okay, so now we're going to take this down. Because the hole saw is a different story.
Okay.
Okay, now, as soon as you break through this hole,
Yeah.
that's going to grab and stop.
Okay. And that's good.
So that means either your wrist is going to break, you're going to be strong enough to hold it, or you're just going to crap your pants.
Okay.
So what I usually do is I'll put a hand here
Okay.
to stop that kick.
Gotcha.
So now you're bracing for it.
Okay.
Is that backwards or forward?
Forward.
Okay. Go slow. Because like I said, when it drops through, you're going to know it. When that stops, which way is the drill going to go?
That way.
Okay.
So hold it right here.
Yep.
Okay.
Feel that kick?
Yeah.
I've seen people doing it on a frame and they kick and take out their jaw. I've seen a nose get real bad. Real slow.
Ooh. Yeah, that's okay.
Make sure that this is as straight up and down as possible because you'll end up cutting through one edge and then it starts catching real bad. But you can see how much heat you build up going even that slow.
Right. Do I want to be putting pressure on the head here or just kind of letting it?
A little bit, but not.
Not too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Do you want to try to weld it? It's going to be poppy and funny and all that.
Sure. I'll give it a shot.
Okay. So go ahead and just do a tack over here. I think I want to hit it with a hammer first.
All right.
Whoop, too hard. Just do it. You're just going to do a tack. Okay. See the difference?
Yeah.
See how it sounds and
Mm-hmm. It's very poppy.
yep.
Are you going to attack on the other side?
Yeah, go ahead and tack top. Okay. And you can see all this gas.
Yeah.
That's all toxic.
All right. Don't breathe it.
So you don't want to breathe it in. Since you got a lot more years than I have.
I don't know if that will do a great job.
None of it's going to be great. It's cast.
See, I got a big hole in mine.
So you stayed up there a little bit too long.
Okay.
I could actually turn down the heat. All right. So now you should be able to do a tack, but then you'll be able to eventually start going around. Is that blowing a hole still, or
I
shouldn't?
don't know if I made penetration there.
Okay, it's all right. So now go ahead and go from this tack to that tack and this tack to that tack, and then you'll reach in as far as you can. It's just okay. So what you're gonna do is just do it a long tack, move a little bit, long tack, move a little bit, long tack.
Okay, and just basically just be tacking.
Yeah, because as you blow away all the crap, then it welds better.
So just basically place it here, tack, move, place it here, tack.
Yep.
Okay.
It's all right. Let it blow out.
Okay.
So go ahead and tack there. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean.
So you blow out.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. I see. I see.
You're getting too close to the tip. There you go. As a terrible YouTuber that I am, this is the bearing we basically got finished with. I didn't show much of it. I think I showed cutting off this. I know I talked about the ring and the disc on top and this. So we welded it to the frame that we made that went around the outside edge of the car. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys some of that. We did some bolts here so it locks in the tube and or whatever. What's that called? The crane part. The bearings, we talked about overheating it. I drilled holes and put lubricant in there, and that made it move a lot easier. It's still not, when it's this small, it's still not real easy, but with the bar up here and the chair on it, it works great. We did do test fitting, and it worked pretty good. The arm is a little short. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. I think I did do some video that I'm probably going to put in the end of us trying it for the first time. And then I'll show you what we came up with and some of the other stuff we're doing. But I'm going to go ahead and mount this in the car now. We did do the brackets. There's 4 mounting points. There's the nuts. I know I showed you guys doing the riv nuts. And the reason why is we're 3 days ago is when the last time we worked on this. We had a Jeep come in. We had to do some front end suspension and some stuff like that. So I'm just trying to figure out what we left off on and where we're at from there. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and install this. I'll show you guys me putting in the crane. And then we're going to wire it up and see if we can make it work again. He did get a small wireless remote, and we're going to see if that works. So let's go over to the car. So there's 4 bolts, one there, one there, one there, and one there. So it's way overkill, I'm sure, but this way we know there won't be any problems. And this tubing is actually a little bit thicker than what normal would be, so I want to say it's probably 11 gauge, someplace around there. And then we did the 4 set screws, so that locks in the upright piece. And that's the bearing. And we cut a piece of plywood that fits on top, but I'll show you guys that after we carpet it, or during our carpeting. We'll do a little short on that. So now I just have to run these in. Since they're nut certs, I don't have to get them real tight. Okay. Now I'll go grab the upright bar and we'll put that in. Okay, so that goes in there. And then these nuts get tightened up. Or bolts. Get tightened up. And that'll lock this in nice and solid. So let me get the size for that. Now on this, I don't want to make them too tight. Because I don't want to crush the tubing that it's going into to make it harder for us to get them out. So that's solid. And they're basically just to make sure that there's not much movement up and down. So now on this, we did a whole bunch of work. We cut 3 lines in here and kind of pie cut it and bent them up. Went up to here, cut 3 more lines and leveled it out. We welded on a pipe fitting here, which we might change, we don't know. We're getting a little chafing on the rope. So I don't know if we might just sleeve the rope or figure out something. It could be because there's cut lines here, and actually this is all up here, so I doubt if it's this one. It's probably this one. The cut lines were here. And if the rope's running on those, those could be like razor blades sticking up. All right, don't judge, because we did some stuff here. But I know wire nuts are not car appropriate. I know. But check this out. It's a little adapter that hooks up to his DeWalt batteries. So we're going to try to see if this works. That's kind of why this. And then if it does, we'll do an A-B switch or a dual battery switch or something. Or maybe even just plugs. And have it. He has a cigarette lighter back here that we're going to use. It's right. Hold on. I'll get you there. It's right there. But the car has to be on in order for that to work. So then he would have to go up to the front, start the car, come back here, and then hook his chair up and everything. So it's much more difficult. So if we can use the DeWalt battery and use that as a backup plan, then that might be better. So we wired it up, and now we're going to give it a shot. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. We don't know if it's going to have the torque that's needed or the amperage, I guess you'd call it. I don't know. We're going to try it, though. So we did some other stuff on the chair. So I'll show you guys that in a couple seconds. Steve did I guess it works. He did a kind of a knot system. One more. Okay. He did a knot system, and we did like a heavy-duty key ring, a carabiner hooked up to this, and we'll see if this lifts it up. Now, one thing that we do have a problem with is this arm should be out here. So because it isn't, it kind of swings the chair into the bumper. Now, he has a bumper protector that he can put down, and I might sew him up a heavy-duty one just because I love sewing stuff. But we're going to try this and see how it works. It goes a lot faster. That 20 volts is a lot faster than 12 volts.
This is not high enough to clear the bumper.
We figured some stuff out. We don't know if it's going to work, but we think it is. It might be something to where he's going to have to get used to using, because it's going to throw the chair a little bit wonky when you go to lift it up. But we're trying to figure it out. If you guys have ideas, leave them in the comments down below, because we're searching for kind of anything. I'm going to grab the camera and show you kind of how he hooks it up.
Okay. We have our carabiner and the off-center pick one. Hook that up.
Okay, so what we did was we did a bolt that goes all the way through. Can you guys see that? Hopefully. A bolt that goes to the footrest that has a eyelet on the other end. So, and then it hooks up to that. And over here, this is all running off of just a DeWalt battery pack. So that worked out really well. I'm going to back up because I don't want to get hurt.
Alright, we have a bumper guard here. We've got the carabiner hooked up. I've got the controls. Booming up. Now swing in. And I'll boom down just to make it secure. And win.
I think that'll work pretty good.
Booming up to take it out. Going wide. And lowering the chair. Here is on the ground.
Okay.
PCK works perfect. And we've gotten about a dozen lifts out of one small battery.
And it's still over half.
Yep, the battery still has a half-life.
And that's the smaller one. You said they have bigger batteries.
Yep, that's a small battery.
Now, do they make 12-volt chargers for those batteries?
Yes, they do.
So you could
For construction, trucks, and whatever.
So you could get a 12-volt charger, plug it into your 12-volt, and whenever you're driving, it would just be charging.
Yep. Or for me, I just carry two batteries.
Right.
Piece of cake.
Keep one on the charger at home.
Yeah. Booming up. Swinging in. And booming down. My chair is in.
So, what do you guys think?
Primo Customs does it again.
Leave in the comments down below what you guys think of this video. Let us know what we could have done different. If you guys have any ideas, that's why we do these videos, you know. We need ideas bounced off because it might help somebody else out, and that's kind of what we want to do. It's all about learning. So I want to call this a wrap. I will do another video of wrapping the plywood in carpet. You got that ordered? That should be in today or something like that. So maybe tomorrow, or tomorrow's Friday already?
Yeah.
So either tomorrow or Monday or whatever day. All right. So we're going to wrap this up. We're going to call this a day. I'm going to put away a whole bunch of tools and everything else, and Steve's going to go sit in traffic for a couple hours.
Perfect. Thank you, buddy.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. See you on the next adventure.